Thank you. Man, you told me. I didn't know there was.
I don't play.
I would have charged you if I would have known this many people were here. You are a great salesman. Holy crap.
Just so you guys know, can we get a little bit of light back there? This guy's doing this for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you. But I have to open it up. I'm doing it for nothing because Grant understands the value of relationship and relationship equity. So he's done so many things for me that I felt it would be an honor to be here. And then, of course, I know he's empowering so many people. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to get it in.
Thank you. So, I mean,
all right.
I know you get 100 gigs. You could be at 100 gigs tonight, right?
Yeah.
You're on fire, dude. You're in the glow. So I'm going to open with that question. You and I flew from here. I knew you were in Miami.
Yeah.
And that you missed a flight. You want to tell the story? It's a good value-add story for the audience.
Yeah, actually, it ends up, okay. So I'm in Miami. It was Art Basel. So, you know, of course, I didn't see any art. Just dancing around pictures all the time. And, you know, I went to a club, I think Live.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember.
So obviously I didn't wake up for quite some time the next day. And I had to go out and film Daymond on Demand out in Las Vegas. And there was no other flights there. And then, you know, Grant, I didn't even actually know Grant that well. And they said, well, you know, Grant says he's going out there. Why don't we just hop on the jet and go out there? And then we got on the jet and we started to talk really about empowering people and what people are lacking today and what we're lacking today and how we're still educating ourselves. And funny thing, you know, we started to bond like that. Then I started following you on social media, and I started learning a lot more from you, and now I'm here. So, you know, it's funny how things present itself because, you know, you would think that when you get to certain levels of success or age or wealth that you stop learning, but you don't stop learning. And I've learned so much from him that I decided to come here. So you just never know when opportunity is going to present itself.
All right. Thank you, man. And on that flight, you mentioned something to me that you mentioned glow. You said, you talked to me about, you know, the shark, the ABC show. And you said, there's such a glow. I've never heard this term. I've never heard the concept, but it had stayed with me. And I wanted an explanation I didn't get from you that day. And you said, I could literally have residual results from just the glow and not do another Shark Tank. Yeah. Can you explain what that is, how you got it, and then what that means to people to get a glow?
Yeah, so, you know, it's your reputation that precedes you when you walk into a room, and when you kick ass doing your job and becoming known for the best of who you are, it precedes you going into any place else. So, you know, listen, Shark Tank's out now 8 years, right? If you're watching ABC, if you don't know me by now, then you're never gonna know me.
Yeah.
It's on CNBC, like we're the Kardashians of CNBC, right? So that is already set in stone, and we don't need to do the show anymore. We do it for very specific reasons, of course. So we feel that we're gonna, you know, help and change people's lives, and we know that the show is the top show kids watch 5 to 15, and parents and kids watch together on network. How many people here watch Shark Tank with their kids? Raise your hand. All right, so that's absolutely amazing. That's the main reason we do it. But we know that the glow of, or the halo effect of who you are follows you through your entire life. And that's how I got into Shark Tank, honestly, because of my work in the early days with FUBU.
Now, FUBU's a perfect jumping off point. So I don't know that everybody knows the story of FUBU. If you haven't got The Power of Broke, I just reviewed it Tuesday. This past Tuesday, I reviewed your book, by the way. Love it. The guy that preceded you talked about one of his biggest resources, Andy Frisella, was that he didn't have resources.
Right, yeah.
And so, what is The Power of Broke?
The Power of Broke is utilizing everything within your reach. And, you know, we were raised with this whole concept of you have to have money to make money. Mm-hmm. You have to know somebody. You have to be educated and all that thing. And I didn't have any of those. I didn't have a famous last name either. You know, well, I do have a famous last name, but if I tell Elton John I'm his son, he's probably going to not agree for various different reasons, right? Yeah. The power of broke is to use your resources. And like my mentor, who will be here Sunday night, Mr. J. Abraham has taught me, absolutely, that the power broker is using OPM, but OPM shouldn't be other people's money. It should be other people's manufacturing, other people's marketing, other people's manpower, and other people's mentors, and making money off other people's mistakes. But this whole theory of needing money to make money is just bullshit. Because if you look at the top 1,000 wealthiest individuals in the world, 60% of them are self-made men and women. Mm-hmm. That means they were broke. And if you look at the people who win the lotto, or it's over 60% of professional athletes, they're usually broke 3 years bankrupt 3 years after leaving the league. That means that the tool of money was never of value. And that means that if you think like you're broke and you activate the power of broke, then you're going to be more equipped to win. You got to understand, the people who activate the power of broke more than anybody else are the people who are wealthy. Those are the people that activate the power of broke more than everybody else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's something that you have to do, and all that other crap.
How do they activate? So because I don't know that. I think a lot of people think, oh, if I had money, I would do that. If I had money, I would do that.
So the number one reason why small businesses fail is overfunding. It's the fact that you go out and you think you need $100,000, or you think you need to take an investor in at an early stage. So if you're doing $100,000 in business and you say to me, hey, I'll sell you 50% of my company for $100,000. Okay, well then what if your company gets up to $2 million and you need more capital infusion? I'm not giving you my 50%. Now you're gonna have to go raise more money. Now you're down to 25%, then you gotta raise it again. Now you're down to 10%. Now you just lost the taste for the business, right? So it's not that, it's using your things that are within your reach. See, real entrepreneurs take affordable steps. People think that entrepreneurs are visionaries. They're not. Entrepreneurs are not visionaries. Entrepreneurs do the best thing they can do today, and then they do it again tomorrow. And they fail often. I'll give you an example. Kodak was founded in 1888. They filed Chapter 11 in 2012. Now, when they filed Chapter 11, over 80% of their employees were viewing their images on Facebook. 15% were viewing on Instagram, and a bunch of them had Shutterfly. Now, it's not that Kodak didn't want to accept the fact that digital change was coming into the market. They had a digital platform for 15 years that they were trying to perfect. But they would not give it up. They said, this digital platform is going to make it, that's it. They couldn't care about anybody else, so they stuck on that. Now, an entrepreneur who fails fast, here's what he does, or she does. Mm-hmm. Within that same 15 years, that entrepreneur would have started one business, and they would have failed because they would have learned that they didn't have all their trademarks and everything locked in order. But then when they started the second business, they would have had their trademarks. They found out distribution wasn't in order. So when they failed, they started their third business. Their third business, they would have found out that the funding needed to be properly in order. Then the fourth business, by the time they get down those 15 years, they become us. Mm-hmm. Every overnight success takes 15 years.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's the exact difference on entrepreneurs, and it is. Thank you.
You're good, man.
I'm just telling
How do you get so cool, though, dude? Like, you're like the coolest.
My mom,
dude.
she's somewhere in the audience. My mother's here.
Now where's mom at?
I don't know. Where's mom? Where's mama?
Man, mom needs to sit up front.
I don't know. She's somewhere. She's chilling. There she go.
Where's mama? Come here, mama. Come here, mama. Come here. Come here, mama. Come here.
She doesn't usually like to come up.
Did you have sex with Elton John? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Hey, Mom. How you doing, Mom? Love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what's your advice to an inner city kid today? No money, no dad, no education, hates school, or some of the people in this room, no connections, no money, no education, financially illiterate, because they're here.
Yeah, so for those who don't know my story, my father and mother got divorced when I was 10 years old, and my mother raised me by herself, and I was an only child. I'm also dyslexic. I didn't realize that until maybe 15 years ago. I got left back in school one time, and I never went to college. So the three things that every entrepreneur needs, we're all given, most of us are given by God, is three things. It's very simple. It's health, it's desire, and it's common sense. That's it. That's really it. Health, desire, and common sense, right? And even without the health, you can still try to figure that out. Because a lot of people that I know impress me, and you know, they're not you know, they weren't born as healthy as all of us.
Yeah.
So the key to success is to educate yourself every single day. Now, I speak at a lot of conferences, I speak at a lot of corporations, and we all do the woo-woo and then go off and don't do anything after that. But we're at a really dangerous time right now. You know, we moved from the agricultural age into the industrial age, and the industrial age into the technology age. And maybe if you were doing something the same way you were doing it many years ago, the curve would have taken 15, 20 years. But things are changing in 1 year, 2 years now. And if you were, my friend Champ always gives me this analogy, if you were a farmer and you were plowing the field at the agricultural age with your donkey, and you see somebody over there who's now embracing the industrial age, and they're plowing with a tractor, if you don't learn how to operate that tractor, where to acquire that tractor, the best way to get that tractor, if you say, don't worry about it, I don't need to do that, I'm going to do this, well, then there's two jackasses on the field plowing that field, right? And we're at a very difficult time. And you never stop learning. Even till today, some of you are learning how to be a better husband or a wife, or how to eat better, or how to train better, or how to do whatever the case is. You don't wake up in the morning and know everything. And we're at a day and age where technology is changing the entire world. So you can either be a dinosaur, or now you can find ways to empower yourself from your laptop at home. I met a kid, he wanted me to help him become a rapper. I saw him in a hotel lobby. I said, I can't help you become a rapper. And he said, okay, no problem. We go out to the valet to bring our cars around, and his car comes around, it's more expensive than mine. I said to him, it doesn't look like you're doing half bad as a rapper. He says, no, I'm a fine artist, I paint, but all my friends who paint with me, we all make $50 or $100 a day painting. So I have 100,000 people that follow me on Instagram, and every single Monday, I take a white shirt and I paint it on Instagram. I time-lapse me painting it, and I tell people, you can get this shirt for the next 24 hours and 24 hours alone. It costs $50. Whether you buy one or 1,000, it's up to you, but you'll never see it again. Everybody that likes that shirt prepays for the shirt. I take their money over to the screen printer. I copy all the screens that were ordered, and I mail them out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I do it all over again every single Monday. And he did $1.2 million in revenue.
Wow.
Right? So think about that. He's converting half of 1% of his customers every single day. But unlike when I made a shirt for 10, I sold it to the store for 20. They may have sold it for 40. I don't know who purchased it or why they didn't purchase it, or what they didn't sell. They sent it back to me. He's making it for 10, selling it to his customer for 50. He has the analytics on his customer, and he's doing it all over again. But he's not doing anything new. He's only doing what Publishers Clearinghouse used to do, or Columbia Records used to do. He's just doing a new form of delivery. And if you don't understand how to do this, you're done. So just like our parents told us, or maybe you have to tell your parents, just like they used to tell us when we went from high school or to college or something else, and we wanted to find something out, and they said, take your ass to the library and learn, right? How many of you over 30 years old here know how to code, know how to build your own sites, learned how to do pay-per-click, learned how to do all that thing, all that stuff? What are you going to do? You're going to get a $100,000 loan and pay somebody $20,000 who's going to lie to you, and they're not even going to hit your target market? You're going to go get somebody to build you a $20,000 website, or you're going to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself, just like you did when you got successful in the first place. So you got to leave here today and change the entire way you think. You have to go back and start educating yourself, and this is what I was doing too. 8 years on Shark Tank, I learned the most. I learned the way these kids are doing business, a new way. I don't learn from the sharks, they're idiots, but I learned from all these other people.
Who's the biggest idiot?
Mark Cuban is the biggest idiot, of course. Because he has the most money.
That's what I was going to say.
Right? I'm going to get into some of these questions, but I can't express to you how much you have to you got to stop being comfortable, and you got to go back to basics. Because I don't care who they think is going to make America great or not. I have no issue with that. But if the #1 job in America for males are driving trucks, it's going to increase 12% over the next 5 years. But after that, whether you're an Uber driver or a truck driver, it's going autonomous vehicles. You will not have a job. Mm-hmm. That's it, you're done. Mm-hmm. So unless you know how to program those trucks or create routing for those trucks, you're done. So you're gonna have to start understanding how the world is changing. Amazon's the biggest company now in the world, damn near, and every job they make, they destroy 4 jobs. Gonna have to learn. But when you learn, guess what? You may not be able to be a truck driver at 65 years old because your back hurts, but you can program trucks until you're 150 from your laptop at home.
So, dude, that was strong. You're done.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth.
It's true, man. You know, I know people my age, I'm 58. They're like, man, I don't know how you do all this Twitter stuff and Instagram stuff and ClickFunnels stuff. I'm like, because I don't want to die prematurely.
Exactly. You got to learn, man.
So the kid, the artist, I mean, his story really is, what kind of car was he driving, by the way?
He was driving the Wraith.
Okay.
The Rolls-Royce Wraith.
Yeah. Damn.
Nice car.
It is a nice car.
He needs some financial intelligence too, but that's another story.
Because if I was selling $50 prints, I ain't buying a Wraith.
Nah, I know that, but that's
I own a Wraith, and he's buying it for me.
There you go.
How good a deal is that?
That's our boy, yeah.
Okay. Let's give a big hand to Brad Lee.
Brad.
The real Brad Lee. He plays a terrible game of backgammon. I got him at 700 now.
Nice.
Okay, so the kid, the artist, he's following the money, isn't he?
He what?
He's following the money. He's waking up.
He found the money. He found the money. Now, you know, there's other aspects to the story. You know, there's other aspects that were, you know, that again, now he's going to have to learn production lines and things like that. Mm-hmm. You know, we see a lot of people that come on to Shark Tank and they go, you know, I did $1 million in Kickstarters. Well, did you get everybody the product? No, I didn't get everybody the product, but I did $1 million. But he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to continue to learn. But he has a new business model. He doesn't carry an inventory. He knows directly who his customer is. And, you know, that's just the way that we have to find, everybody in this room has to find what they do best and find just another way to deliver it and a better way to deliver it and the stickiness and cut out. The middleman is gone. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it's that dash button on your washing machine where you can just order, Amazon cut out every commercial that is coming your way. Bang, your dash button. You got to find a way that whether you do a subscription model, whether you do whatever, get right to your customer.
So, like, let's say you were starting over. You're not Daymond John now.
Yeah.
You're just a pretty dude, you know.
I wish.
You don't have FUBU.
Yeah, right.
And it's 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows you. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do tomorrow?
So first of all, I'm going to find and we're talking about if I was doing clothing.
What space? What space? What industry?
So first of all, something I'm absolutely obsessed about. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to create small pods of people that relate to exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to try to find a way to worship them and make them feel amazing. Then I'm going to try to perfect whatever I'm trying to sell. You see, the good thing is, you know, when today with social media and things like that, don't ever go to a focus group. You ever heard of focus groups? They don't, I mean, they don't even exist anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So first thing, when I first had my first couple of T-shirts, I wouldn't give them away to anybody, to any family members, because of course you give them away to your family members, right? At least your Aunt Betsy's gonna come back and say everybody loved the shirt, because she cares about you. I live in New York. I stood on the corner of 125th Street in Harlem, trying to sell shirts. Here's the best thing about standing on 125th Street in Harlem selling shirts. They not only tell you what they think about your T-shirt, they tell you what they think about your mother, about what you're wearing. They tell you everything. So first get a proof of concept by real people. Then you mimic that in various different areas with various different ambassadors. Don't go after the big people like the Kim Kardashians of the world. You look at a Kim Kardashian, let's say she has 100 million followers. 20 million of them are girls that love her. Mm-hmm. 20 million of them are girls that hate her. And 60 million of them are guys with lollipops and trench coats on, right? But you look at 100 people who equate to the same following who don't have a public, don't have this public persona, 95% of people love them for who they are. Right? It's kind of like when I look at you and Gary Vee. I'm on TV all the time. You guys probably have more followers than me because the information you're giving, it's real. It's people can learn from it, so they follow back because of the value that you add. If you're adding this value to people, absolutely. Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm not bullshitting you, and these guys are real, right? So he adds a lot of value. Who here knows Gary Vee? Right. Gary Vee will get up here and curse everybody out, right? And more people will follow him. It's because he's real, but he adds just common sense and the value to it. So that's what I would do. I'll create these little pods of people that can do that. Then I'll try to find a way to deliver the product to them. And then I would see how this works on a small level for quite some time. And that's when I know my customer well enough where I can go out and I can hopefully try to leverage a situation to get the product to them. I will not sell any of my company. I will try to leverage. See, I'll give you an example. When I first had an order for 50,000 pieces, T-shirts, I didn't have the money. I go over to the screen printer. He was charging me $6 a T-shirt. I said, charge me $7.50. And I told the store, you write the check directly to the screen printer. The screen printer felt good because he knew he was going to sell directly to the store. The store felt good because they knew about the screen printer, and I didn't give away any of my company. I just lost $1.50. But really, they factored it for me.
Do you think people come and get investors too soon?
Absolutely. People get investors too soon because they've been taught that's what they need to do. But the first set of investors need to be, don't buy that TV, go to dinner less, dig in your couch for some coins and shit like that.
Call somebody and sell.
Call somebody, sell them something. Maybe, okay, you want investors? Now we're going to talk about how if you really have friends. Call up 30 friends of yours over to your house and have a dinner and say you're raising $1,000 a piece and either they'll get return on their money, whatever. You're going to create a Facebook page about your progress of what's going on. They're going to be part of this. Then you're going to find out who your friends are or not. You're going to get $30,000. They'll go through the system, and you'll also get investors.
Don't give any of the company away.
Don't give any of the company away. If I get $1,000, give you $1,000, you're going to give me $1,200 back?
Yeah, I'll do that. Now, what if your friends don't help you?
Well, then they weren't your friends.
What if they're broke friends that want to help you, but they can't?
All right, how do you get them in the system then? When we had, FUBU has a big 05 on all the shirts, all those obnoxious jerseys. You saw the big 05. And the reason why there was 05 was there was always 5 of us, but that 5th member always quit. And there's 5 fifth members of FUBU running around the streets talking about, I should have just stuck it out. And what you do is you can get them in sweat equity, but you need to first of all establish what is the partnership, who are responsible for this and that, and what we're going to do, and what is the reward. And if you can get that, that would be great. I forgot to leave out one of the other important things that I would get when I was first starting, if I was Daymond John, would be a mentor. Life is a series of mentors.
How do you pick a mentor? Because, I mean, the internet's so wide today. It's like anybody can go on, take a picture of a Lamborghini, say they're a coach.
That's true. So besides, obviously, my mother was my mentor, but I didn't realize that she knew what she was talking about until I was about 20.
Mom,
right?
Come on, Mom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We never think our parents know anything. My daughter's here, and she thinks I'm the dumbest person on the planet, right? But, and then the second mentor usually is one of what I call the most underappreciated commodity in this country, which is our teachers, right? That's your second mentor. My third mentor was a guy named Tim who owned a grocery store in my neighborhood. And I used to go there and sweep up all the time. And it was interning, basically. And Tim would kind of teach me the fundamentals of business at that time. And I always say this, if somebody's running a small business in your neighborhood for the last 20 years, they've been through recession, they've been through gas hikes, they've been through everything. They know the fundamentals of business. maybe about 7 years ago when Shark Tank really took off, I reached out to Jay Abraham. I didn't know him. And usually successful people love to see other people be successful. And I reached out to Jay Abraham, and it took 1 second for him to say, I will absolutely mentor you. So life is a series of mentors.
How often do people come to you to be a mentor? How often do people, I mean, there's 3 parts to this question. How often do they say, hey, JD, will you be my mentor?
Yeah.
Number 2, how often do they ask you a dumb question? And then what's the dumbest question you ever got?
Well, I get it often. And what I always say is, that's why it's one of the main reasons we're on Shark Tank, and that's free. And I do Facebook broadcasts, that's free. And if you really don't have any money, I'll give you my book, right? So that's what I say to them. That's how often. What was the second part?
What's the dumbest question you ever got? You get a lot of dumb questions. I know you do because you told me you did.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some really dumb questions to ask, and it's usually Barbara asking the questions. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
How to be successful? Just a normal, general question.
So what would you ask? You're going to walk up to you.
Yeah.
What would you ask you? What should they be asking you?
Well, it's a challenge because if I was walking up to me and I knew I was walking up to me, I would spend 2 days researching the target, right? And I would spend 2 days in understanding what is of value to me, because everybody has a different concept of what a value is, right? And if I didn't know myself and I walked up and Daymond John was there, I would say, I know you're in fashion, you're in business, this and that. Here's what I do, really short. How can I add value to you? I will do whatever you need, or I could do whatever I can do for you. I don't want anything in return. And if I provide value, please just give me another meeting.
So, Mr. Daymond John, how can I provide value to you? And by the way, I don't want anything.
That's right.
I don't want anything.
I think, you know what you can do value? Well, first of all, I know that I'm talking about Daymond on Demand, but I think that we should do something together to get out to the world. So now you have the, we'll do that.
We'll do that.
But,
and by the way, let me just prove that I can do it, and then we can have another meeting.
There you go. I love it.
See,
this is real. This is a real conversation. We're not setting this shit up.
No, we didn't even talk before this.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I saw you was on the way to Vegas. So I just did that because he just told me what he'd want. What you want to do at that point is duplicate it exactly. And I see so many people unwilling to duplicate exactly what the guy with the altitude told you to do. Everybody wants to add their little nuance and their little personality. And I'm like,
and even if you don't know the person, say, how can I add value to you? And say, well, if you don't know me, how do you know that? All right, I'm going to do research with you. Can I talk to you or your assistant or anybody else? After I come back with my research, can I just send you an email? And I will show you how I can add value to you. It is of no loss to you at all. Everybody here is good at something.
Those diamonds are blinding me, dude. I mean, like, my right eye is gonna be just like,
it's ghetto.
It's ghetto?
Yeah, it's ghetto.
What is ghetto?
The reason why I wear the diamonds is because when I went to shoot Shark Tank, I said this show is never gonna last. So I needed a free trip to LA. I love free trips. That's why I was jumping on your plane like a, car hopping, chick, right? So I love a free trip. Anything free trips and buffets. Now, I went out there and I said, the only reason I'm gonna do this stupid—
We got food in the back.
Yeah, I know. The only reason I'm gonna do this stupid pilot is because I better be able to pitch Mark Burnett 3 ideas. That's it. So I go shoot the thing. I wear my earrings so I'm going out that night because it was 10 years ago when I used to do that. And then all of a sudden the show starts to air and the producers say, for continuity, you have to keep your earrings in all the time now.
Yeah, you stuck with them.
And I pitched Mark those 3 ideas, Burnett. He shot them down in like—
What were the 3 ideas?
They were shit ideas. I don't even remember those ideas. Yeah. I don't even remember them. I really don't. They were crappy.
They were that bad?
Yeah, now I know why he's a good producer and I'm not.
So what's all the fame like, man? I mean, when did you become famous? At what point, like, the fame you're having now? People know who you are. I think that's John Daymond. I think it's Daymond John. Is it John Daymond or Daymond John?
I had a level of fame around 97 when FUBU was big because we were doing a lot of commercials, and it was in a certain community. It was more in the hip-hop community. If you look at all these videos, you'll see me in the Hate Me Now video with Puff Daddy. You'll see me in the Khaled videos. You'll see me in a bunch of those. So I had a certain amount of fame at that time. But then I think after Shark Tank, it was a different type of fame because Shark Tank started hitting middle America, and kids really started gravitating towards it, and mompreneurs and everybody else. And it was a different type of fame because when the initial fame used to be, hey man, send me some clothes or whatever the case is, this fame became way different and much more appreciated. You know, I never wanted fame. I really didn't, because I grew up in Hollis, Queens, where I grew up with Run DMC, LL Cool J, Salt and Pepper, and all these people. And I used to see, let's say LL Cool J used to be at lunch with his girlfriend, and they are having a vicious fight, and she is in tears. And somebody just walked right up, hi, and just shove a paper in his face and say, can you sign this? And there was no privacy. So I never wanted to have fame in that sense. I always wanted to be the person that walks in the room and the important people know me. So then I said, all right, let me go on and start writing books. And then they wanted to do reality shows about my office and everything. I said, absolutely not. About my kids. I never let a camera in my house. Oprah was going to do a special on me. She said, I have to come to your house. I said, absolutely not. Nobody ever have seen my mother prior to, social media. But then I wanted to be like Walter Cronkite. I wanted to be an African American who wasn't talking about sports, talking about entertainment, and sharing with other everyday people of all colors the fundamentals to business. And I wanted to be a Walter Cronkite, and well, thank you.
They don't even know who Walter Cronkite is.
Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, everybody knows who Walter Cronkite is.
They don't
Walter
know.
Cronkite, Dan Rather, Howard Cosell. I've just figured as being like a newscaster, you wouldn't walk down the street and somebody would say, oh my God, Walter Cronkite, look at these. I never thought anybody would say that, right? So all of a sudden, the Shark Tank takes off, and I just didn't expect it. But I'm embracing it, because honestly, the only reason people come up to me is because they want to find a way to feed their family, right? And to make it in life and not have to depend on somebody else's, dream, so.
How important, when you're talking to these people, because you see the stock market at 21,000 or whatever, and people look like they're making money, and it sounds like they're making money. What do you see on the streets out there with the real American family and the importance of money to those families and whatever's missing in between?
It's kind of what we were talking about before. It's digital literacy. I see that the stock market is where it's at now, and everybody got hurt in 08. Everybody. I don't care if you're me or anybody else, you got hurt, right? But I know that people think now, because things are going well, the cycle is going to change regardless. And if you're doing the same thing in 08 that you're doing today, you're gonna be affected. And even if we're not talking about being an entrepreneur, if you don't have digital literacy and you don't know how to work maybe QuickBooks or other things of that nature, then you're still going to be a person working a register, and you're never going to be a manager, right? So the biggest challenge is we grew up in a day and age where we thought that the government was going to take care of us and things were going to happen, and the safety net now is gone. Social Security is gone. You worked at a company, and many people found out over the last couple of years that was pretty dangerous, because a lot of people don't want to be an entrepreneur because they don't want to fail. But how do you know the person running your company, you're working on their dream? How do you know they're not going to fail? Entrepreneurs, and there's this whole myth that entrepreneurs are wild and crazy, and they fly by the wayside, and corporations are safe. That's absolutely bullshit. I'll tell you why. It is. I'll tell you why. A corporation looks at something and says, what is our ROI, return on investment? If they don't have anything out there, they say, what's our ROI? Now, how do we reduce our liability for this ROI? But an ROI is a guess. It's just a guess. It is not anything that's factual. An entrepreneur says, how much do I have to lose? Time, money. I'm going to Vegas, I have $100 to lose. That is a fact. And it's absolutely wrong, this whole theory. So you look at the Blockbusters or the BlackBerries of the world, they ROI'd out the ass, and they're gone. Now, there are companies, the Nikes and the Apples of the world, who have an entrepreneurial spirit within them. But, you know, an entrepreneur takes affordable steps, but they always learn. And again, that's why we're here today, because I want to make sure this is the first time anybody's seeing this, and it's with Lightspeed, and it's my Daymond on Demand. And I've been asked so many times, thank you, where's it at? We're gonna put it up on the wall. So here's what we're gonna do. I've been asked so many times how to become successful, this and that, and I give this stuff away on Facebook and on all my other channels. But to get to a granular level, we've created something with Lightspeed. It's Daymond on Demand. If you text SHARK to 96000, today, because we're at Grant Cardone's event, it's going to be 25% off. I'm going to go over what it does present. Now, let me explain something to you. I don't think that I could personally teach entrepreneurship step by step by step by step. I learned when I went to Babson College that you can teach it. And people always think that to learn, you have to learn from this huge successful entrepreneur. I don't know why they think that in business. But if you go and want to learn basketball, Michael Jordan or LeBron James coach, they never actually played, right? When they teach them, their strength coach or their shooting coach or Tiger Woods coach, they don't actually teach them. And there are people out there that study entrepreneurship and everything to the T and can granularly break down step by step by step. So my coaches and teachers, and I'm teaching what I do know and how and put it into perspective. They are teaching it on such a granular level that I'm still learning from them, even off of my even off of my format here. So a couple of things you'll learn is, of course, branding your product or company, finding capital to fund your business from various different ways, protecting your business, validating your product or services, identifying your target market, creating a sales plan, and of course, much more. And whoever purchases this before 6 o'clock today, we're gonna pick one of them we're gonna sit down for about a half an hour, and we're gonna talk one-on-one about your business after this.
Dude, that's a great offer right there. Big hand.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you doing the 25% off, all right?
Absolutely.
Would you rather talk to 3,000 people for nothing or 200 people for 50 grand?
Well, it all depends on who the people are and what are they going to do with it, with the information. I give up going to speaking gigs quite often if I'm speaking to an amazing charity or a school or something of that nature. If it's a corporation, you know, I don't know if I would do that because
they got a lot of money.
Well, they're not going to use it often as well. They're gonna just talk about it. If it's entrepreneurs and they're going to go off and they're going to go and change people's lives and employ people and empower themselves, then absolutely. I mean, that's what I do. I go on Facebook all the time and just rattle off everything as much as I can.
You do a great job at it too.
And thanks.
Before you leave,
thank you.
What is the number one? I mean, I hate the number one question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What is the thing that you see too many people doing as the mistake?
Analysis paralysis. I see them thinking that they're going to do it next week, next month. They only needed this. They only need that. I mean, the time will never be perfect, right? But it will only be the perfect use of time. And the whole process of being an entrepreneur is to act and learn and then repeat. And many of them do that. Also, there's a lot of goals that entrepreneurs have in their mind. But the problem is, it's not the goals that they set. Not even entrepreneurs, people. I read the book Think and Grow Rich for the first time when I was 16 years old and talked about goal setting. And it's a methodical way to set goals. And I've read the book 10 times after that. People let other people set goals for them. You see, because you become what you think about most of the time, as Oprah has said. And if you practice goal setting, then you start to become obsessed with this target that you're going to hit and you're going to visualize. But too many of us have allowed somebody to say, you can't get the girl, you can't get the job, you can't leave that job, you're gonna embarrass yourself, and you're gonna embarrass us. And that's the biggest problem. People let other people set goals for us because we're all born thinking like entrepreneurs. We're all born thinking like that. It's all the people that told us and projected their flaws on us or on us that made us stop. Like how many people here have already had a career and they found out they went to school, they did something in this career and they hated it, but they did it for somebody else, and now they're in a different career? Raise your hand. Think about that. Somebody else told you the career that you should have been. So we let other people set goals for us. And I'm giving you 3. And the last one is, a lot of people aren't honest with themselves on what their goals are. So I always say to people, can you personally put yourself in 2 to 5 words? Go home today and put yourself in 2 to 5 words. Because if you don't know what you stand for, when you walk into a room, you leave it up to us to interpret. Whether it's Apple, think different. Nike, just do it. Food before us, buy us. TNT, we know drama. TBS, very funny. Put yourself in 2 to 5 words. And why is it more important now than ever before? Because we're no longer looking at you in your face and talking to you. We're all looking at you through those digital devices. And is your 2 to 5 words that you represent, is it consistent with what's on the internet, what's on social media? Because every time somebody takes a selfie with you, every time the government posts something about you, every time you do something, those 2 to 5 words are there. So how do you know how many people are not calling you because of something that somebody else put up about you?
Give it up for this man right here. Come on.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
You guys have to understand, #1 biggest opportunity, and it's your #1 biggest advantage.
But this whole theory of needing money to make money is just bullshit.
How many times did you think about quitting, JJ, over your career?
I don't know how many times we've answered that honestly.
I mean, how often do you, I think about quitting all the time.
It's just like you're talking about what you've done with your wife. I mean, you got to constantly keep putting there. There isn't like where you got to keep water and fertilizing in that thing. And
within a year of graduating from college, I made over $1 million online. Not because I was smart, but because I found smart people and I modeled them.
Is there a mistake that has been done to you? Let's use the 10X principles and play through that mistake just to have a chance.
It's always a yes until it's a no. And if it's a no, you make it a yes and you try again.
Rather than you taking a list of 50 people and just smiling and dialing. It doesn't make any sense.
This is all about how to 10X your income by building a celebrity personal brand.
But the ability to actually win, to find the opponent's weakness and to attack it and to go after it and continue to go after it. Find their weakness, you go after it.
You want me to dig a ditch? I'm digging a ditch. You're gonna pay for my manicure after, but I'm digging a ditch. Whatever that man needs, whatever you need, whatever I can do to support him, to help you, I'm freaking doing it.
You need to have an opinion. You are in the business to persuade other human beings.
cash is king, and you need to learn how to where is your cash coming from, who owes it to you, when is it due.
Not you need to do the best you can. If you got a business partner that thinks this way, you think the other way, what are your people going to do?
I want more. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want more. I want it right now today. All of you, even if you're doing $1 billion, you need to take a chance.
Boldly and say, this I have done. You are here because you have an uncommon desire to live a bigger life and to live your dream.
But if you cannot tie your feature, your benefit, your gain, your advantage to increasing revenue, reducing costs, expanding market share, people simply what? Shut down.
You look them dead in the eye and say, no, I didn't hear you. I am going to wipe you out. That's how you do it.
Become the star in your field. Figure out what it is, and this is an amazing thing that I learned from Grant, what it is that others are not doing, and do it.
There's a tribe of us, a tribe of world shakers,
a tribe of history makers, a tribe of people who do not want to get stuck in an almost life. Why don't somebody clap your hands and shout if you're ready to take this thing to...
Gary had this conversation with me about, oh, the girl's better off working for herself at 40 grand a year than she is working for somebody else at 40 grand a year. The internet's so beautiful. I said, dude, ain't nobody better off working for 40 grand a year.
Great answer.
Okay? Your business is too small, bro. You gotta figure out how to get, you should be completely focused on raising $200 million and drop the 250 a month.
We change our strategy to market to somebody every day. We've changed our strategy today just to put on the event multiple times throughout the day. Because we're nimble, because we're always trying to hit the target. And we push, and we insist, and we inspect that the target gets hit.
You guys all worry about all the stuff you do that you don't feel good about. You need to worry about the stuff you don't do that you should have done. Everything that I have today, all the success I have has happened in the last 7 to 8, 9 years.